Yeah, so I'm just chilling. Um, just gonna put together. I'm gonna do some lives instead of just doing actual videos. I'm gonna do a few more lives because Lord knows I am not going out. It is just too damn cold. I'm talking about you can feel the breeze from outside. So I haven't even went anywhere to be honest with you. I've just been chilling, catching up on my rest, and that's pretty much it. But you guys already knew I was going to get to this subject matter because I speak on this type of subject matter a lot. And of course, I'm going to address the Fat Joe waiting like like forever to finally respond to Tyreek Nasheed and basically doing the typical go-to move, talking about financials instead of facts. But I blame the black community for giving Joe an outlet to think that he can basically speak on black subjects. BET proved that they was fake, but then again, they haven't been black owned since 2000, so that should tell you a lot. If you look at some of the programming that BET features, especially on BET Plus, a lot of anti-black man rhetoric. You know, with that being said, let's talk about one Malika Andrews. Now, Malika Andrews has been under fire because a lot of people have questioned her intentions towards black men, where she appears to get off like going after black men. Now, of course, she did an interview with, I think, DeMar DeRozan. I haven't seen the interview, so this is just basically secondhand, but people were talking about it, and basically he brought up the situation about does she intentionally target black men and does she have it in for black men, and then she did the typical answer that we expect she was going to do. I'm hurt, I can't believe people were saying this, and all this type of stuff. Now probably what's going to happen eventually, if this story begins to pick up and make a lot of waves around the internet streets, she's gonna do some segment on ESPN where she's gonna, try to sit up there and act like she's pissed off and how dare you accuse her of doing this stuff. And she has a white mother and a black father. So saying that she's against black men is saying she doesn't love her father. And everybody knows that is the biggest, that is the biggest myth to debunk. When people say, "Oh, I can't be racist because I have a black husband," ta, ta. I can't be racist because I have a black wife. Ha! Like I said, that's been debunked on several occasions. So you might not want to go that route. I've met white women who were racist towards black people, or in particularly black women. So, and I've listened to dudes who were married to black women or had kids by black women, but they didn't care for black men. So don't try to insult our intelligence. Malika Andrews has a history of doing this crap. You see what she did with the uh, Emi Udoka situation, and then Joe Mazzulla, where she brought up an incident that happened when he took over the realms of the head coach for the Boston Celtics, in which he coached into a championship. She brought up some unnecessary incident that happened years ago that didn't have nothing to do with him taking over the head coaching position. And then when the whole thing about Udoka, transpired, when people were just basically pointing out the evidence, she tried to come on Stephen A. Smith's show, trying to check him, and she got checked. Now I give him credit for checking her and putting her in her place. Talking about we're not gonna blame women, and that's some feminist stuff. And this is what, if you want to know why the NBA ratings are going down, it's a mixture of a lot of different things. I don't think people like the broadcasters because I think they have too many people that's unqualified to be there. It's just a variety of different situations. I think it's starting to look, you know, um, it's starting to look unmasculine. You got dudes wearing sports bras. Why are you wearing a sports bra? It's a lot of different things. But I think one of the main reasons that people don't want to talk about is these women reporters. Some of them feel like they're not qualified to be there. Now you have some that do know the sport, but then some of them were like, okay, how did you get your position? A lot of people just feel Malika Andrews isn't qualified to be there, and because of possibly gender politics, because I think it's more gender politics than this so-called identity politics, because she's a woman and all that kind of stuff. And then some of her takes, she doesn't make sense on her takes, and one of the reasons why Giannis walked away because Giannis didn't like some of the stuff she was doing. One thing that really pissed me off what she did is when Adrian Payne um, lost his life. She didn't tell the whole story, and she brought up some incident that happened in college that was basically thrown out because basically they didn't believe the person in question because they thought the person was sitting up lying. But nobody never wants to talk about that perspective. And that's why when I hear people say or try to push this notion, believe all women, it is complete and utter bullshit. No, you shouldn't believe somebody because they are a woman. That's misandry. So to sit up there and say believe somebody because they're of a certain gender, isn't that sexism? Because I'm a woman, according to some of these people, and you know what I'm saying. When women present that, that means I'm telling the truth. It's been proven time and time again. Women are far better liars than men. They can get on TV and get coached, break down the tears and all this kind of stuff, and then all of a sudden they get these people handed them, tissues and all this kind of stuff, and and napkins here, wipe your eyes, and all that kind of stuff, and handkerchiefs when they are in complete untruths, telling untruths. So that's why I find that just funny to say that you should believe somebody because they are a certain gender. That doesn't even make no kind of sense. But then these are the same women that's talking about sexism and they want an equal playing field. Like, are you kidding me? But I'm just saying, you look at her history. Adrian Payne, for those who don't know, Adrian Payne unfortunately lost his life because basically his girlfriend talked him into coming with her to try to defuse and try to intimidate the boyfriend of his current girlfriend's at the time friend. And basically he did go over there to defuse the situation, but due to his size, the guy was scared and he ended up pulling out a weapon and taking Adrian Payne's life. And Malika Andrews, instead of her saying, condolences to the family, she brings that up. Now, if I was the family of Adrian Payne, I would have made ESPN order Malika Andrews to issue an apology, and she never issued the apology. And Stephen A. Smith could try to defend her and talk about she was just doing her job. No, she wasn't doing her job. She went beyond doing her job. You see how she had this segment when the situation with Kyrie Irving happened, where once again, all Kyrie Irving did is say he gonna watch a damn movie and everybody went after him. Everybody went after this dude. Malika Andrews had a rabbi on there talking about how hurtful his words were and all this. Well, I mean, he didn't even say anything. He just said he was gonna watch the movie. And that's it. And I mean the intent and the vitriol they went after Kyrie Irving, they made him look like he was, Hitler or something. Or Mussolini or they made him look like he was just like, wow. She went out of her way to do that to Kyrie Irving. But then she didn't say nothing in regards to JJ Redick's, or some people call them JJ Redneck's history or possible history of being a racist. Didn't do no segment on that. Didn't have nothing to say about Dana White. Twisted her arm, did a quick drive-by, segment on Josh Giddey. But what she did to Brandon Miller was cold. It was cold. I'm talking about that was his moment. He was getting drafted, and she brought up a situation that was happening outside of basketball. And keep in mind, um, the team did their research on him. He explained what happened, but for her to just put that out there while he was having his biggest moment. Now, if they wanted to talk about it afterwards, when the draft was completely over, if they wanted to talk about it when everybody had left the scene, that's fine. But to do that while he's sitting up getting his name called and walking down the aisle to receive his hat and get congratulated by Adam Silver, that was just mean spirited. And Malika Andrews got something against what black men. I don't know if something happened to her when she was young or something, but you can see that she has something against black men. But for her to sit up there and play victim because people are calling her out, and a lot of people have called her out about that. And I think the people, when Brandon Miller got his name called, I think they were blindsided because they were sort of like shocked that she brought that up. I don't think she was told to do that. And of course, Stephen A. Smith come playing Captain Saberho, talked about, let her defend herself. Talked about she was just doing her job. No, she wasn't just doing her job. And if she was, then ESPN need to be called out on their blatant double standards. And we know ESPN has a history of double standards pertaining to black athletes versus white athletes. Stephen A. Smith is the same dude that made excuses for Dana White. But any other brother that had an incident with a woman, he was talking about he's shocked and he's horrified and all this kind of stuff, But Dana White got a complete pass. So I'm just saying Malika Andrews has a history of doing this stuff. So if people are calling her out, I say good. I even seen Dreamers Pro talking about this, and I watch Dreamers Pro from time to time. I don't agree with everything he says, but he put out good content, and he usually don't like talking about this particular subject. But Malika Andrews, she's been doing this for a while, and at the end of the day, look who she decided to marry. Now, probably in defense of her, you already know what's going to happen. You're going to have the bad wenches and in the view holes going to say that black men don't like her because she married a white man and she was dating him. Listen, let me explain something. Do you know how many available biracial women are are still walking around here? Trust me, she isn't the last. Okay? And Malika Andrews isn't even that fine to me. I'm just keeping it 100. I've seen better. I've had better. Okay? So let's not play those type of games. Nobody ain't even thinking about Dave McMillan. Okay? And at the end of the day, she married a scrub. So she married a second tier reporter. Okay? So let's not play these type of games. So we know what to expect. And I don't want to hear anybody talking about, well, I don't think race has anything to do with this. You got to be freaking kidding me. You a damn lie. If you think this has nothing to do with race, it has everything to do with race and the agenda and basically how they like to target and demonize black men. Listen, at the end of the day, shit happens. You're going to make mistakes along the way. Nobody is perfect and nobody's expected to be perfect. But my thing is, anytime a brother gets in trouble, it turns into a long thought out segment about what should happen or how it could have been prevented. And then it turns into this life coaching of, but when a white person does something, it's a run by segment. They don't do no, panels on what should happen. But a black dude, they like to dissect it, break it down, and talk about where do we go from here. When it comes to a white dude, people say, well, let's wait till the facts come out, innocent till proven guilty. But when it pertains to a brother, he's already convicted in the eye of public opinion. So Malika Andrews trying to insult people's intelligence, trying to play dumb, like she don't know what's going on, and why is people coming at her like this? It's preposterous, and I don't like the idea of somebody trying to insult my intelligence. I don't need her to apologize for anything. To be honest with you, I'm just laying out the facts about her history, her rap sheet. She looked like she was about to break down in tears. And I can tell you behind the scenes, they said, Malika, you're going to have to talk about this thing with Josh Giddey because we're getting a lot of heat from social media and other media platforms claiming that you just like to target black men. Now, of course, they have people that's looking to see what's out there, but it doesn't mean we believe her. Just because somebody says something isn't true doesn't mean you know that it isn't true or it is not true. The proof is in the pudding. We've been seeing this for a while with her. We've seen this on several occasions. And the fact that she got mad when Kendrick Perkins pointed out the facts and Stephen A. Smith pointed out the facts that this was consenting adults. She made it look like, oh, well, you can't blame it on the woman. And they had a team that I don't give a damn what they team discovered. They discovered that a married woman was being a whore and opened up her legs to Udoka. Now, Udoka was wrong for what he did, but for them to give the lady a complete pass, like she's not at fault, that I think was pissing people off. This is why I think people got upset and just scapegoating, Udoka as if he forced himself on her. Because if he forced himself on her, then you would be looking at, then what he would be looking at. But it was consenting. But they made him look like he was a pervert and like he was some kind of, like he was some kind of sexual deviant. But they love to try to put jackets on black men. But the thing is, we need to start saying, nah, these jackets don't fit. They're either too small or they're too big. They love to try to put jackets on black men. So Malika Andrews absolutely knows what she was doing. And she was malicious about it too. And I know that they probably been keeping certain media, or should I say, keeping certain athletes to her, because I know for a fact there's certain athletes that don't even want to talk to Malika Andrews and won't talk to you. Seen what Giannis did, and I think a lot of people feel that way. But um, I just think she gets on a lot of people's nerves because a lot of people just feel like, dang, why are you out here? And at the end of the day, these athletes, are somebody's brother. Some of them are fathers. Some of them have fathers. Some of them have uncles. Some of them have cousins, nephews. And you got to ask yourself, how would you feel if you saw somebody like Malika Andrews constantly slandering somebody that looked like you? You know, if I if I played for a professional team, I would have my agent and I would have the team relay a message to ESPN saying under no circumstances I will do an interview or talk to Malika Andrews. Now I don't know if you know, but last year people booed the hell out of her because of what she did to you know to the dude, to Brandon Miller. They booed the hell out of her. They said they booed her so bad. They said when she went off the air, they said she went somewhere crying, and as she should, because don't you think the family of Brandon Miller was sad when they saw her slander him before the facts come out, ruin his moment? That was the best moment of his life, getting drafted to a team. And she ruined it by bringing up an incident. And don't give me this shit about, well, if black people don't want to be talked about in the news they need to stay out of trouble. That's easy for you to say because, like I said, you never know what life is going to bring your way. You could have the most perfect image. You could be a dude that never had an incident in your life, and all of a sudden, something happens. And then there you go. But at the end of the day, people specialize in, prejudging black men, or should I say prejudice, because that's pretty much what prejudice and prejudgment is. They already have it in their mind the black dude is guilty no matter what, is his fault. So don't give me that stuff. So that's for the people that's going to try to take that angle, because she goes beyond the call of duty to basically, put out information that actually nobody asked for. Nobody asked for that information about Adrian Payne. Like, nobody. Nobody. But she just voluntarily brought it up. Same thing with Joe Mazzulla. Nobody asked for that information, but she decided to bring it up. So if people are calling her out and thinking that she is racist or has prejudice towards black men, it's her own doing. She did it to herself. But don't try to sit up here and insult our intelligence and try to do that. Oh, I'm hurt. That's not true. And all this kind of stuff. Because it's actually true. You have a history. You have a rap sheet. You are a repeat offender. So when you are a repeat offender, then hey, the proof is in the pudding. What do they tell you when you go to court? I mean, it's like this. If you get caught stealing once, they may give you a pass. They may turn a blind eye. Second time, they like, okay, it's not looking good. Okay, third time, it's like, yeah, you're doing it because you want to. Fourth time, you basically saying you don't care what happens to you. You don't care about the law. You don't respect the law. So once again, and then you know what happens when the courts get fed up with you. Okay? So Malika Andrews, once again, she is a repeat offender. I laugh at the fact she doing that. Who, me? She's trying to do the typical who, me? Me? Where's this coming from? You know where this is coming from. You know where this is you know where this is coming from. So for you to sit up here and try to say, do the, oh, that's preposterous. Oh, this is, I don't know where this is coming from. I'm hurt. Bitch, you ain't hurt. you were not remotely hurt. I can tell you right now, if I see Malika Andrews, I would go the other way. I wouldn't say nothing to her. It's certain people you don't want to talk to. Like in boxing, like I said before, I have no desires to ever interview Teofimo Lopez. I would never in life speak to Ryan Garcia. I have no desire to speak to them whatsoever. For what? For what? Why would I want to give Ryan Garcia any free publicity and give him attention? So, why would I speak to Malika Andrews when I know what her agenda is? But to sit up there and see her trying to play stupid and try to act like she doesn't know where this is coming from, and she clearly knows where this is coming from because we could run down her history. So she needs to knock it off. Just accept it, or just say, I'd rather her just say, I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, instead of sitting up here trying to lie and tell us that this isn't true and she's bothered by it. This is the same thing that Jamil Hill did. Well, Jamil Hill got called out for being anti-black man. Now she's toned it down a lot, but at the end of the day, she tried to do the same thing. Oh, I'm hurt by it. It's preposterous. I don't have nothing. Jamil Hill, another one that have a history of like attacking black men. And the funny thing is, black men used to defend her on a regular basis. So when you are a repeat, yeah, she ain't said, yeah, that's what I'm saying. She ain't said nothing. She ain't said nothing about Ryan Garcia. She ain't said nothing about Dana White. She hasn't said nothing about Conor McGregor, who's been an incident after incident. But she went on a picnic with Kyrie Irving. Adrian Payne had just lost his life. Basically, basically trying to defuse a domestic situation that didn't even have nothing to do with him via getting axed by his girlfriend at the time. Because you really, if you want to get technical, his girlfriend cost him his life. Asking him to get involved in a situation, going over there to try to intimidate and at the same time, basically defuse the situation. The dude said that he was too big and he feared for his safety. Now the dude is looking at charges, but still, nevertheless, Adrian Payne isn't here. But Malika Andrews didn't have you know what I'm saying? She didn't have the guts to bring that up, but she bring up something that happened in college, and basically they decided not to further run an investigation because you know why? They thought the person was lying. They thought the person wasn't telling the truth, but she didn't bring that up. So she needs to quit like trying to play stupid. She's a very she's a very spiteful person. I don't know who's worse because Stage Steele is anti-black man too. She been slandering black men for years. But that's what they do. All it takes is one incident with a black man, and then all of a sudden he's a cast off. They're the worst things that ever happen to people, you know. But a white guy can constantly break your heart, and once again, they get redemption, they get a pass. But a black man has to be perfect. As long as we walk the earth, we have to be flawless. We can't make no mistakes. We do anything wrong. Well, we're the worst. We're the worst thing that ever happened. We are not allowed to make any type of mistakes. Everybody else is allowed to make mistakes except black men. We have to be perfect. We have to walk on eggshells. We're not allowed to defend ourselves. We're not allowed, for real. We're labeled. They have all these expectations for us, but then at the same time, if we can't meet them, then we're lesser than anybody else. I mean, the bar is set so high. I mean, for real, the bar is set so high for us. We couldn't even reach it if we had an elevator. You know, that's how high they got the bar set for us. We're not allowed to make any type of mistakes, and that is a serious problem. So Malika Andrews need to just woman up. But as far as the NBA go, feminism is what's destroying the NBA. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. It's some other things, but I think that's one of the main reasons they don't want that type of stuff in sports. They don't want the feminism stuff, and that's just real talk. They feel like some of these women are not qualified to be there. Now that's debatable. Doris Burke, she's earned her spot. Cheryl Miller, she had earned her spot. She knows basketball.
You know, if Don Staley was to work for ESPN, she's earned her spot. Lisa Leslie, she's earned her spot. Malika Andrews, she just came out of nowhere. And then you see a lot of people that got let go over her because the network wants to play politics, or they want to have, or they want to be liberal. And the thing is, liberals are not that liberal until, you know, it come time to, you know, evaluate a black person. Then all of a sudden, then they want to lay down the law. They're not that damn liberal. They're not liberal when it comes to, they want to accept everybody else's policies and rule of thumb except black people. So that should tell you. But anyway, you guys, appreciate you being here. You know, I'm just finna chill. Um, that's probably it because it's too damn cold. But anyway, this your boy Town. I'm out.